So my last video for tonight is going to be why it is important to get permanent and total status on your disability if you are IU or 100% but not permanent and total. For example, I'm 70% IU permanent and total. So some people are 100% but they're not permanent and total. So the difference between me and someone that's 100% scheduler is that I have one service-connected disability that is 50% and the other disabilities equal 70%. And that is enough to get IU and permanent and total status. And so if you get IU, you will also get paid at the 100% level. Now, the downfall about getting IU is that you can't make more than like $12,000 a year. So there's not much I can do anyways. Like you see, I'm here sitting down in a controlled environment and making a video online. So if something happens, I have the power to do whatever I need to do without getting reprimanded from a boss. And so the reason you want to get permanent and total, I think for me, the biggest thing for permanent and total is that my family gets health care. My family gets CHAMP VA benefits. I think that's the most important thing that I look at because they get better care than I do at the VA. They don't have any, they got cost shares and stuff like that, but they don't need any consults or referrals for any specialty care. Everything goes med by mail. We're not having to fork out $600, $1,200 a month on diabetes medicines for my wife. The pens, and that is a lifesaver. And it's all paid through by Champ VA, and thank goodness that I got permanent total when they awarded me last year. The other awesome thing is that for your wife or children, I don't know, it's your children too, but for my wife, she's getting Chapter 35 benefits, education benefits, or DEA benefits. And so she gets paid by the VA for 45 months to get a degree at $1,000 a month for 45 months. And so that plays a really big role in our finances and in our budgeting and being able to put our daughter into a learning center, when they want close to $500 a month. So that way my wife can solely concentrate on her schooling so she can become someone that she wants to be. And if you're in Texas, you also get the Hazelwood Act. If you joined in Texas and you're permanent total, you can also transfer your Hazelwood Act to your spouse. And that's 150 credit hours of free college. And you still get to collect your grant, your Pell Grant and, your loans. Now, those are the two amazing things about being permanent total. Now, you also get for the whole family base privileges. And I don't live near a base, so that doesn't really make a lot to me. If I lived near a base, I would be using the commissary a lot because of the tax-free food. Or the PX, whatever one, for tax-free. Might as well buy stuff there. But they often, I don't know, like the one in New Mexico and then at Kirtland Air Force Base. Is it Kirtland Air Force Base? Yeah, there's one in Albuquerque that I love going to. It has a big PX, just like El Paso, Fort Bliss. That's big PX. It's new, actually. It was just made like 7 years ago. And haircuts are cheap on base. That's another good reason. But individually, is that, like, I had $28,000 in student loans when I tried to use my GI Bill for going to school. So my schooling didn't work out for a few reasons. So, like, I first went to school to become to become an EMT paramedic. And I decided after my panic attacks and my health issues that probably being an EMT was not the best for me or the best for the public. So then I went and I tried diesel mechanics, even though my back was hurting. But at that time, I was in diesel schools. I knocked out all my diesel classes. But when I got the test results back that I have a long, chronic, and lifetime problem, and diesel mechanics was not the best for me. So I switched over to an I&E tech, and then on top of it being hard, being around a group of people and trying to concentrate, in college in general, I probably would have preferred it to do it online, I guess, but I'm still a hands-on type of guy to teach or to get instructed from. But so I did the I&E Tech program, and I then got a spinal cord stimulator, and I could not be around high voltage stuff. So as an I&E Tech, you're around very, very high voltage equipment. So I moved on to photography. Well, with my back hurting and at the time they also put me at permanent total IU for the rest of my life, I didn't see the point of trying to go through the hectic problems, I guess, of going to college. My back's hurting and doing what they wanted me to do. It's already hard enough for us to try to go to college with all these young kids, and with all our problems, or my problems especially, it's just harder. But so I gave up on it, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I wish I could have completed the degree, but I didn't. But my wife is now on course to become a BSN, and that's going to help us out financially. She's going to do something that she loves, and she also wants to become a makeup artist, and I fully support that. That the biggest thing is that even though I have so many problems, the biggest thing is that I still need to support my wife, and at times it may not feel like it, but deep down we both know that I support her in what she does. Now, um, so going back to being permanent and total, you really want that permanent and total. Now they can come by and change it if they want to, but you don't have any future exams. Um, it takes a lot for me to do these videos, knowing that the whole world is going to be watching these if they ever decide to watch it. But I also kind of find it therapeutic to help my brothers and sisters out that are out there and didn't get the information that I didn't have. And if I would have had that back then, life would have been a lot easier for me. It would have been a lot smoother. And I don't want anybody to experience and go through the things that I did just because of the lack of knowledge. And sadly enough, that happens a lot to a lot of people. It's just because they don't know something, they miss out on a lot of things, and their life can become very depressing and very hectic just because they don't know about something. So I think it's our job as veterans to help educate other veterans about things that programs and stuff that they're eligible for, that they can do. We need to, you know, we don't need other veterans to feel left out or become depressed just because there's no help, but there is help. You get on, you're 100%, you get on disability, you can probably get Social Security and get Medicare and get better care from the VA. So all you do is say, okay, well, my primary care provider through my Medicare is giving me these medications. Here's my medications, and you need to start paying them for me. Now the VA pay for the medications. It's only fair. If the VA can't take care of you and you have to go outside and other approaches to get medical care, then you got to do it. It's your health. They don't know your health, and they got thousands of other veterans to take care of, and the doctors at the VA are overbooked, double booked, triple booked, and they're underpaid. So if you're triple booked out and you're underpaid, don't expect quality care. That's what needs to change in the VA. Is a big part is paying their doctors well. That they do not do as of right now. You know what? If you have to tax 1 more cent for the United States populace just for doctors to get good doctors at the VA, for the veterans that put their life on the line for the well-being of the population of the United States. Now they may not disagree with the wars and all the politics, but they still need to respect the guys that are on the lines actually doing something for their country. Still support the troops, even if you don't support the war. And that's the biggest thing. So if you have to increase tax 1 cent, hey, go for it. Pay those doctors what they should be. I just heard today that in Oklahoma City at the VA, they're short 22 doctors. That's outrageous. 22 doctors at the Oklahoma VA? That's crazy. But anyways, y'all have a good night, and I'm out of here until tomorrow. And you guys email me at thelifeofhell at the VA. No, thelifeofhell and the VA at gmail.com. And I will respond to anything. If you guys have any questions, personal questions about anything, I will respond to you, and we'll get you on the right track and what you need to do. A lot of things I've learned. I like to call myself, I know a little about a lot, not a lot about a little, because I try to be well knowledgeable in a lot of different fields. Not just how to take care of the VA or the disability or whatever, but other fields as well. But so email me if you need some pointers or some direction or some advice. Email me. I'll gladly take care of you. All right, you guys have a good night.